Houston, Bayou City Outdoors. Thanks for joining me again. Tonight we're talking about Hiking 101. Tonight it's all about gear, the gear you need and the gear you can leave at home. I know that last evening we had a little bit of trouble with sound, so if someone can let me know if you can hear me, I'm using a slightly different microphone than usual, so I just want to make sure that sound is on. And it probably is. Looks like it is. So, in case we haven't met before, I'm Kelly Howard. I'm with Bayou City Outdoors. And tonight we're going to be talking about, all things hiking gear. The one thing we're not discussing tonight, and we'll talk about it tomorrow night, is what you need to carry with you from a safety standpoint. If you were here last night, you know I couldn't talk last night either. So, from a safety standpoint, so we'll go over that tomorrow night. There is also a checklist for what to carry with you for safety and just in general. So if you haven't gotten the workbook yet, just go ahead and I'll repost the link when I get done, download it, and there's a lot of checklists in there that you can use. Without further ado, a couple of things that I'd like to make sure that people are doing when they're out on the trail or they're taking with them is one of them is like the right clothes, just comfortable clothes. They don't have to be fancy. You don't have to go spend a ton of money on hiking clothes. But don't use the cotton. Don't use the cotton t-shirts, especially in the summer. You sweat and cotton collects all the water, and it will actually give you a rash or rub you raw, especially your shorts. I mean, I have a lot of friends who still hike in like jean shorts. Not only are they brutally hot, they are also, once again, they're holding in the water, and so it'll help chafe and just be uncomfortable when you are out there hiking. You don't have to spend, you don't have to go buy the finest mountain hardware out there, but it is good to have something that is, it's synthetic, it's going to repel the water or else dry quickly, and then a lot of it is sun protection too. So we're getting in that time of the year. If you're watching this when I'm shooting it, it is May, and we've already had some pretty brutally hot days and full sun. So you definitely want to make sure that you're protecting yourself and you're protecting your legs if you're going through anywhere where there's a brush, potentially poison ivy, and some of the other things that can rub off on you. So a couple of just decent long sleeve shirts, maybe long sleeve pants or lightweight pants that you can wear out there on the trail. Those are a necessity. Another necessity is a water source. You can go all kinds of ways. Like a lot of times, I'm just carrying my oversized water bottle. And so if I'm just going along for a hike, just grab your water bottle and drag it with you. I will tell you that I don't have one, but Becky had something this last weekend where it actually just screwed into the top of one of these, and it was like a tube from your bladder, your water bladder. Hang on, I've got a whole pile of stuff here tonight. So it was a tube from a water bladder like this that screwed into your water bottle. So I will tag Becky and ask her to let us know where she got that, because that was a very cool thing that she had. So a simple water bottle, or like sometimes if I'm heading out just for a couple hours, something small, guys, something small like this. This holds a bladder inside, right? I don't know if you can see in there, it's got a bladder, and then it's got just a couple of spots for just whatever it is that you need to carry. The reason I suggest this is that the amount of stuff that you're going to carry will expand to the size of your pack every time. It just is, it's a law of nature. So think small, go with smaller packs. I'm always about looking for something that is going to carry those bare necessities plus a couple of extra things, and that's it. Okay, so this would be one of my don't carry. All right, hang on, I'm going to get out of the screen. See that? It's a great Osprey bag. It's the, which one is it? Actually, quite frankly, it is the It's a daylight, right? Daylight. So you would think that if it's like day, L-I-T-E, everyone wants something like that. It's not going to be a daylight when you finish packing everything that you could fit in there. Like I could carry 3 days worth of clothes in there, I think. So think about that when you're getting your pack. Are you going to be doing mostly day hiking? Keep it light, keep it small, because I just see it again and again and again, where the more space you've got, the more stuff you're going to cram in there. I can show you like this one. I had a pile of crap here, sorry. So this particular one, it's pretty small. I can fit everything I need, including all of my safety gear, into that for a good day's hike, and my water. So something that works like that is a good thing to have. And I should probably be standing up for this tonight because I want to jump around and show you guys stuff, but I'm just going to be holding things up in front of me. Someone asked me this last weekend on a hike. She had her bladder, right? She had her bladder filled, but she wasn't getting any water out of it, and she couldn't figure out why. And it was because she put it in like this, which is intuitive, right? Like you're looking at that and you're like, yeah, well, it looks like the right thing to do. But what really happens is that you want the bottom of your bladder and your bladder hose, which is at the bottom of your bladder, to go into your backpack like this, so that it's catching water from the bottom. So when you say it, it makes sense, but when you first look at it, I think it would totally make total sense to put it in like that. You might notice something about this pack. I've got paper towels in there. Paper towels remember to take them out before you use it, but you want to take super care of your water bladder, because your water bladder will, what'll happen on it is if you don't dry it out perfectly where we live in Houston, Texas, it's going to get moldy. It's going to get nasty inside. So you just want to make sure that when you're using your bladder afterwards, you rinse it out, you dry it out, like I hang it up, and then I stuff it with paper towels, and then make sure you take them out, because we were on a hike one day and someone told me that she couldn't figure out why her bladder wasn't working until she finally looked at it and she had one of her paper towels stuffed in there still. But it will keep it from getting at all nasty. Another thing about your bladder, I don't ever put anything in there but water. Like, it's good to have hydration, other like electrolytes and stuff with you, but I always have an extra water bottle or something that I can take, like a tablet or chew or swallow, or something that's not going to go in my bladder, because as soon as you put it in your bladder, you now have introduced something that's going to attract more nasty to your bladder. Another thing, when you've got your gear like this, don't store it in the garage. I mean, store it in the house. Don't store it in the attic, because this kind of stuff will break down. I mean, we have a lot of heat here, and it's going to break down if you don't take good care of it. So, water source. You definitely need to have a good water source, keeping in mind that it doesn't need to be big at all, and it can be handheld. But if you're going to carry something like I mentioned earlier, like a bottle like this, you're still going to want somewhere, somehow, to carry the rest of your gear that you want to have along. So you might try that. Also, hang on just a second, let me check a note real quick. Yeah, so I don't have that bottle changer yet, but as soon as I find it, the one that I was telling you about earlier, I will post it in here. So great, and thanks, Bridget, for letting me know. I had seen your comment earlier, and I appreciate you letting me know you can hear me tonight. Okay, so your next step, something that you need. We've talked about no cotton. You want synthetic clothes that protect you from the sun, dry quickly. You want a good water source, and then for your shoes, you don't have to have a good pair of hiking boots. If what you're doing is hiking in, Houston, and within a couple hours, generally speaking, you really don't have to have a good pair of hiking boots. And if you're even like if you're doing maybe the rocks out in the hill country, you're stomping around on rocks or something, a lot of times you can get away with a pair of just running trail shoes. Now, that said, I have to tell you, running shoes are almost as expensive as a good pair of boots these days. And so, and your boots are going to last longer. But like, I can just show you my dirty runners if you want to see them. I wear these a lot of times when I'm hiking. Another thing I do when I'm hiking that not everyone agrees with, but if my feet are really tired, I've been doing a lot of running or whatever, I will wear my Chacos, which are kind of like Chacos or Tevas or Tebas, however you say it. They've got a really hard sole, and it keeps my feet from getting tired. And I'll wear them with a pair of socks, which is a great look. Usually wear them with a pair. If you're going to wear any of these with your socks, get some good wool socks. If you are allergic to wool, which people are, then get some good synthetic socks. But if you're not allergic to wool, get wool socks. If you think that hiking is going to be in your future for a while, get a good pair of boots. Not only get a good pair of boots for hiking, but if there's any possibility that you think you're going to be hiking and backpacking, I would suggest just get a good pair of backpacking boots that you can hike into. These guys, they're Vasque. I think they're called Breeze. I'm not positive, but I can look it up for you if anybody's interested. They are lightweight, super lightweight. They're Gore-Tex, so they're going to be waterproof, and they're backpacking boots. I love them. I mean, I love them. Had them for a couple of years. They wear really well. So having something like that I think, is a definite need if you think you're going to be hiking a lot. If you don't, and you don't know if it's something that you want to do, just throw on a pair of tennies and go out and see what you think. Most of the surfaces around here are going to be soft enough that you will never notice it. And like the worst thing that can happen is your feet might get wet, but since you're wearing wool socks, you're not going to get blisters. And, you might get some sand in them because we've got a lot of sand on a lot of our trails now because of Harvey. So the banks overflowed and there's still a ton of sand on some of the trails. So any questions about boots? And if not, I'm going to go on because a couple of other things that, like, this is a need, don't need, right? Trekking poles. So if you think you're going to be backpacking, if you feel like you're going to be going up and down, like, I don't know where you're going to be, but you're going to be going up and down a lot, you feel like you need the little extra support, maybe it's because of balance or your knees or whatever, you can buy a pair of trekking poles and they should last forever. I'm not sure if you saw my blog post, but I did buy this particular pair of trekking poles online because I got cheap. I was trying to save a few dollars. I looked at the reviews, it had good reviews. First time I used them, the tip came off, it got lost, and so now they're just kind of like, I mean, you can use them, but they're a little cattywampus. So if you know that you're going to be doing hiking, you're going to be doing backpacking, then buy a pair of trekking poles. Buy a pair of trekking poles somewhere like Whole Earth Provision, REI, somewhere where you can try them on, because they are sized, but then you also adjust them. So, and if you don't think you're going to be doing a ton of backpacking or hiking, they're not necessary. Like, they're not necessary. People will ask me though, can I just get one? Like, maybe I'll just get a wooden stick. If you're going to do it, I would suggest getting two. It just makes you more balanced. Any questions about those things? And if not, a couple of other things that I don't think are, well, one thing that I think you should have always is a good hat. And we'll kind of go over that with safety because to me, sunscreen and sun protection falls under the same thing as safety. But have something on your head that you can protect yourself with. Take along, and I'm like all about safety tonight, so we'll do that tomorrow night. But hang on just a second. Oh no, I hate to hear that, David, that you hurt yourself on the AT. So Well, you know what? Let's talk about that for a second. Pre-training, I really think it falls under safety. The truth is that if you're going to go backpacking, you're going to go hiking for any distance, any length of time. We come from Houston, guys. I mean, it's like flat, and you really have to train. We've got a group in the Grand Canyon right now, and they did all kinds of training in up and down Allen Parkway, like, up and down the sides of the hills there. So if you are heading out and you're going to do some distance, make sure that you're trained up. And I'm happy to talk about training one day if anybody wants to, because I think it's super important. And as I've possibly aged a little bit, I realize that it's even more important later, because your body just doesn't bounce back like that. You want to definitely take care of it before you head out. So let's put training on one of those need-to-haves. Anyone else? Because I'm trying to keep these super cheap. Well, they are cheap, they're free. I'm trying to keep them super short. And if you've got any questions about this, what we will do is they post, so you can always rewatch them. Last night's post was about where to go. And if you weren't on, I covered Memorial Park, just a quick talk about Memorial Park. And my favorite north side trail would be Lake Houston. East would be the Big Thicket. South is Jack Brooks. And then west, just west, was Terry Hershey. So you can go back and catch that too. And there's also some maps that you can catch below that if you don't have them. If you're Bayou City Outdoors member, a couple of things. One of them is all of this information that I'm talking about tonight. Log in and go to library, and you'll find all the checklists, you'll find all the maps, and pretty much, I mean, there's a ton of stuff in there. I've been uploading stuff in there for years now, so you can find all kinds of information. I will also add the link for the sorry guys, my dog just went running across, for the Hiking 101 and workbook, so you can grab that. And then tomorrow night we're going to talk about safety, basically, trail maps and what you need to carry with you for safety. If you're not a BCO member yet, the membership opens, I think it's June 13th. So you can jump on the wait list just simply by going to BayouCityOutdoors.com, click join, and it will put you on the wait list. Otherwise, have a wonderful evening, and if anyone needs anything, I will be checking comments later, and I will get back to you. Thanks. See ya.